I'm Tim, your Around the Block Realtor. I've been around the block a couple of times, and I'd like to share some experiences with you about choosing an agent that you should really pay attention to. I just finished reading an article on Fox Business, and that article mentioned that you should be interviewing your agent and interview at least 3 agents. Each agent should have an experience level of at least 5 to 7 properties a year. You should get references from their recent closed transactions. Make sure that they haven't got too many clients and are too busy for you. And the agent should know the location of the properties that they're looking at. While I'm not going to disagree with this, I think there's emphasis placed on some of the wrong areas and no emphasis at all placed on some very critical areas. So let me explore some of that with you. First of all, let's talk about experience. I agree that your agent should have a lot of experience. If your agent doesn't have a lot of experience, that's not necessarily a problem, because you got to find out who their mentor is and how their mentor would be involved in things. So experience is definitely something that you should consider. The Fox article said that you ought to be finding somebody who's doing at least 5 to 7 properties a year. I think that's considerably low. I would expect people to be doing at least 1 property per month to be considered experienced, and to have done that for at least 3 years or so. The reason I say that is because in the course of 36 transactions, you're going to run into transactions that have RIOs, they have regular sellers, their foreclosures, their short sales, and all the different types of transactions that you can do. Maybe even throw in a couple of HUD transactions in that period of time. So you want to have somebody who has a well-rounded background and knows what the different transactions are for. Why is that? Because then they can tell you up front what's going to be involved in a transaction, so you can decide if you even want to get involved. A lot of people don't want to spend 4 months waiting on a house that they might not get in a short sale. So short sale transactions are out of the loop. Some people don't mind it, so short sale transactions are absolutely in the loop. So you've got to make those considerations for yourself. References from closed transactions. I don't know that this would be very reliable, because the chances of you getting somebody who's going to trash the agent that just helped them get their dream home is probably not really high, unless they had just an absolutely awful experience, and then it's unlikely that the agent will provide that information. So trying to get references probably isn't too clever. Having too many clients and being too busy to help you, that's really rare when an agent gets so busy that they can't do that. They'd have to have 6 or 7 transactions going at the same time, which is personally my limit. I limit myself to no more than 7 at one time. The fact that the agent should know the location of the property is true, but they don't have to know every nook and cranny of the individual area that they're in or where you're looking at. For instance, the Phoenix metropolitan area covers nearly 600 square miles. I have people who will look in one corner and go completely kitty-cornered off to the other corner to look at properties. Interviewing at least 3 people is overkill, and let me tell you why. If you find somebody that you feel has the correct experience, knows the information about the general area that you want, and is ready to provide a service for you, just stop there. If you trust this person and you respect their experience, that's all you need. You don't have to interview 3 other people or 2 other people in order to go back and choose this person again. Not only that, if you interview the first one and spend a week and a half getting back to him, what's he going to think of you as a client? So here's a couple of questions that I think should be asked that weren't on there. How about, do you answer your phone? Or do you respond to your email? What's your turnaround time in getting back to your clients? I personally answer my phone every time it rings if possible. If I don't answer my phone, I really am on the line with somebody else. Otherwise, I pick it up and answer it every time it rings. How about customer service after the sale? Many of my clients are calling me 2 and 3 weeks after the sale, just in getting things settled down. How about if they're from out of state, the transaction closes, they're still out of state and moving here? Who keeps the keys? How about providing information to get their water, power, electricity turned on? How about providing information for post office service and things like that? Landscapers, etc., etc. Items that come after the sale, people can still call me and get the answers to their questions. Here's another question you should know, you should ask your real estate agent. What do you know about houses? Now that sounds pretty funny for somebody who sells them, but you know what? A lot of people sell the looks of a house. Gee, isn't this one pretty? You ought to buy it. They won't go through the house with you. They won't stop and look at the water heater, check out the air conditioner, look at the condition of the plumbing, see the nicks and things like that in the walls. And more than that, even if they do see it, a lot of times they won't point it out to you, which I think is pretty crummy. I always like to make sure that my clients have seen exactly what they're getting. And they need to see this from the very first time. So if you've got somebody who comes in, looks at a house with you, and turns around and walks out and doesn't offer any sort of gee whiz, that's nice, or gee whiz, that isn't so hot, or man, this is above average, or that's below average, then you might want to think about looking for another agent who has more of your interest in mind. You should be able to ask your real estate agent anything. Anything from how much would it take to run the electricity in this house to where does your commission come from? And they should have an answer for you, if not right away, within a reasonable amount of time. So those are some of the questions that I would ask my real estate agent if I were to have one help me purchase something in a different state. How many transactions have you done over the last 3 years? Do you answer your phone? What about customer service after the sale? Will you still be available to me? What do they know about houses in the area? Will they point out the problems on the house? And don't keep any secrets from me. Ask anything that you want of your real estate agent. So that's it in a nutshell, the things that you should be talking to your real estate agent about. And if you have any questions, you can certainly call me. My contact information is going to pop up next. Take care, have a great day, and maybe we'll talk to you soon.